If you're totally chill with paying $3,000 a month in rent, how are you ever going to save for a down payment? I don't know. This article just irritates me because it's people complaining that other people own a home. Hey, if you want to buy a house, I feel bad for you, son, because baby boomers got all of them, right? I was trying to make that like I got 99 problems, but buying a house ain't one reference. I did a really poor job at that. That's for sure. You can blame the baby boomers. Older Americans are aging in place, fueling a nationwide housing shortage. I don't really think that's the case. Now, granted, are they staying in place? Sure. Is there a housing shortage? Maybe, but I think the real shortage is housing affordability, right? Because like my neighborhood here, we're talking $1 million homes. They were not $1 million homes when I bought this, and I couldn't buy my home today if I wanted to, because the price has gone up and interest rates have gone up so much that like it'd be an $8,000 a month mortgage for me. And I'm looking at this like, yeah, okay. I agree that people are staying in their homes, which would make sense because like I'm not going to go out and buy a new home right now when I've locked in 3 5/8% interest on this. And it's gone up so much in value that to get an equivalent home right now, I couldn't afford. So I think the problem is more housing affordability than housing availability, right? Because there'd be lots of houses that were available right now if they were more affordable. Older Americans may be to blame, though, according to a new report. Findings published by Redfin show baby boomers who are currently between 57 and 75 are aging in place, fueling a nationwide inventory shortage and rising home prices. The typical homeowner spent close to 12 years in their home in 2023, nearly double the average seen 2 decades ago. That's pretty interesting, right? So 12 years is the average time that somebody stays in their home in 2023. So I guess they were staying in their home for 5 to 6 years 20 years ago. So that also has a lot to do with the fact that the houses have gotten so much less affordable. And what I guess they're trying to say here is that the turnover rate on houses is making it is slower, therefore making it more difficult if you were in the market to buy a home. Previously, older generations would move into smaller homes once they retired, which freed up inventory for younger families and first-time buyers. So you're saying that the first-time buyers and younger families would not be looking for those smaller homes? I disagree with that completely, right? I think everybody would be fighting for those same homes. However, while boomers are reaching retirement age, they're choosing to stay put and therefore not freeing up the existing home supply. Older Americans are hanging on their homes largely for financial incentives. More than half of boomers own their homes with no outstanding mortgage, and those paying a mortgage have a much lower rate than they would if they sold and bought a new home today, which is around 7%, which is what I'm saying here, right? Lack of homes for sale and high housing costs contribute to people staying in their homes longer. People staying in their homes longer contributes to a lack of inventory and pushes prices higher. Long homeowner tenure, particularly among baby boomers, is an obstacle for first-time buyers trying to break into the market. I don't know. This article just irritates me because it's people complaining that other people own a home. I don't know what to tell you, right? I'm not looking to get out of my home because I have an incredible home at an incredible rate, and it's very affordable to me these days. For all of those reasons, I wouldn't be looking to move. And long homeowner tenure among baby boomers specifically is an obstacle for first-time buyers trying to break into the market. I don't think it's the inventory that's the problem. It's the affordability, right? When I see rent on some apartments that cost as much as my mortgage does, I look at them and I think, how are you ever going to save enough for a down payment? If you're totally chill with paying $3,000 a month in rent, how are you ever going to save for a down payment? I saw something that said, we covered this a couple weeks ago, that millennials and Gen Z I guess it was more Gen Z, have decided that they're never going to own a home anyway. So F that noise. I'm just going to rent cool ass apartments. And so they're spending between, $2,000 to $3,000 a month on cool apartments, building no equity, watching that money just evaporate every month. And then they complain when they do want to buy a house that, oh, it's all the boomers' fault. We didn't save enough money because we've been buying these apartments, or we've been renting these apartments. We didn't save any money. So it's the boomers' fault. They should have sold us their home at a cheap price. Yeah, I don't know. But one thing I did see is that the available home supply remains down 34% since before COVID, which I was surprised by. Available home supply down nearly a third, or over a third, since before COVID started, which means that there really is not a lot of availability out there. And I guess that is what the article is trying to say here, right? But it's all the boomers' fault. So let's take a look at home builder, DHI, DR Hoarding, right? DR Hoarding is a family home builder. Why don't you go follow them? Maybe they got a home that's available for you right now that you could move into. But you probably won't, because you probably didn't save for a down payment. And you definitely don't want to be able to put on a mortgage at 7% when I've got my mortgage at less than half of that. And the price of the home has, doubled when you could have bought it a few years ago. But you could be looking at DHI. DHI, DR Hoarding, got a sell signal on January 4th. So they may be exiting the market as well if you're an investor in DR Hoarding. But to tell you what, during the meantime, if you had been following these buy and sell signals, you could have seen a 171.24% return, which is pretty outstanding. So be sure to head to outlierdeal.com. That's OVTLYR deal.com to get your hands on these outstanding returns like this one right here for DR Hoarding. Let's take a look at what ABC News has to say about this. When it comes to housing, we're witnessing a shortage of supply while demand is ramping from a huge lift in population, fueled by incredibly generous tax breaks. It doesn't bode well for affordability. Generous tax breaks, or the demand coming in the form of unprecedented mass migration. 600,000 people migrating to a nation of only 25 to 30 mil in a single year seems outlandishly over the top to me. Lift in population doesn't really do it justice. Try artificially induced record mass immigration never before seen. Makes for a perfect storm, some might say. Let's see if there's any more replies. This person says the main cause for housing crisis has been government engineered hyper demand for housing. Very interesting. So be sure to click one of these two videos to watch more of Outlier Live. And thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. And I'll see you on the next one. Talk soon.